Hello, I'm Chuck Phillip with South Alabama Home Inspections, and welcome to another edition of Southern Home Talk. I'm going to just do a little quick walkthrough inspection, and hopefully some of this information I put in here is beneficial. So let's just get going. So we got a street light right there. Check out those old lizards down there. Hey guys, how's it going? 3 of them. Okay, well, it goes on up. But look, this is making contact to some degree to this metal roofing. So if this becomes energized, guess what? So is the roof. That's why I always do a walk around before I get on top of any roof system. So we got, looks like metal roofing over shingles. I've had to guess this roof is probably 10 years old, thereabout. And so what this is actually, I haven't seen this in quite some time. This is like an asphalt shingle that's become really brittle, so that's certainly going to have to be replaced. You've got some gaps down below which could be going up underneath that as well. So far I don't see any termite stuff. Now look at all this moss or fungus on the wall, and that tells me that there's long-term moisture issues going on here. And we got some foundation vents at grade, or close to it. Got a massive oak tree there, so if that thing falls, it will probably destroy the house. That one's rotted. Azaleas. Man, these things have a root system like you wouldn't believe. I'll have to pull the bumper off my truck trying to get them out of my front yard. And we do have some settlement right here on this front right corner. If you have these big bushes in front of your house, guys, you need to get them out because they can damage your foundation. Not only that, but they hold a lot of moisture back to it. You can see all that fungus there, and that's because of this vegetation here. I know most houses in the neighborhood have this, but it's not good. I actually have some episodes on this, on what I think is the best way to do your flower beds. All right, so we have an opening here for the crawl space, and I won't know what we're looking at until I get this on my computer. Looks like they have a collection of mason jars, and more than likely there's going to be some fungus in the subflooring. Looks like they did some replumbing. And so just know, when you see a listing and it says replumbed, it may not be all the way replumbed. It may just be partial or half or some. And so this is actually a bad thing right there, not having this grate on there, so you know animals can actually live up underneath this house. That's terracotta pipe, which is what was used to run a lot of sewer lines with. And there's the electrical main panel. I think there's probably a sub in the house, but it's probably too high. And so you can look at this wood. Anytime wood makes contact with concrete or brick or masonry, it's going to soak that moisture up through the wood and rot it eventually. And it'll even do it to treated lumber. So this is another entrance they put here and just kind of covered it with plastic. But one of the problems is there may not be enough or sufficient ventilation because it's being blocked. So you can tell right there that they apparently were trying to fog out some insects down here. Like I said before, I've got several episodes. The best performing crawl space are ones that are encapsulated, and so we got an air conditioner. It looks like it's about had it as well, and it transitions back over to a slab, so pretty much the house is on crawl space and probably the carport on slab. Let's walk on back here real quick. I just saw something. Okay, check this out. Look how close the line, the service lateral is to that metal roof. And so that's a real high potential of that energizing the roof system. You know, in high winds, it can whip it back and forth to that. Looks like they may have run another sewer line there. More than likely this house is on a septic system. Well, there's the clean out right there. So it looks like they may have replumbed this to some degree. May even had to replumb the sewer. It's got weep holes here. Yeah, it looks like this is probably going to be the only thing on slab is this carport. So this was pretty common to do back in the 60s. I think this was built in 67, where you had the laundry room out in the carport. And it's amazing how looks like they've kept some things from that time period as well. This looks old. Old Glidden, yeah. May even be lead paint. This doesn't really look too bad, but I will say this old wood is more resilient to moisture issues than the newer stuff. Now, this is where I'm talking about plumbing. You can see we have these hose bibs here, but they're connected to galvanized. So more than likely the original plumbing system for this home was galvanized pipe, and you cannot use that anymore because basically what happens, that pipe gets narrower and narrower as it scales up. So this is the back porch area. This is the water heater closet. And it, of course, doesn't have an expansion tank on it either. And it's CPVC, PVC, looks like. It's air handler. Let's just take a peek up in the attic and see what's going on up here. Hope you're enjoying this tour with me. And you got planking for the roof decking up there, and I'll tell you, this is some, and it's old planking as well, and that's what I have in my house, and it's really strong. I mean, it really is. I could see where they have done some repair there because it's newer wood. It looks like they did some sistering there, and it may have been because of poor support. You can see that one before where they used for a brace, and it's actually bowing. But the attic really don't look too bad. I mean, it's got old insulation that needs to be removed. Looks like they started to maybe add some. And there's a good example of what I'm talking about. Hopefully I can zoom in on it. You can see where they tied back in to galvanized pipe there. And so that's why when you hear replumbed, this is one of the reasons why you get a home inspection as well. I mean, there's literally hundreds of reasons why you should have one done. But that's a good one right there. Wow, look at the trim and twist. The executive exerciser, how about that? Feels like an episode of Pickers. And it's made out of particle board too. Makes me wonder, you know, how much money these guys made just selling a piece of plywood with a little bearing swivel on the back of it. You know, why couldn't have I gotten that lucky? But yeah, this is the attic. There's probably no insulation back on the other side over there. That's the carport area. So usually they don't put, if you're buying even a new home, just know this as well. Usually there's no insulation installed over the carport or garage areas. And so what happens a lot of times, people enclose that and make that part of the living space, and you won't have any insulation there. So looks like the HVAC has been replaced, but also it looks like they don't have double wall vent either going up from for the water heater. That's a potential problem there, safety issue as well. Water heater vents, any kind of gas venting should be double wall pipe. Let's see if it's on the bottom part, because sometimes that can be deceptive. Yeah, see, that's single wall vent pipe. That's not good. All right, let's go on in, see what's in here. Wow, dig it, man. Oh, pine plank paneling. You know, To some people, this is actually kind of desirable. My parents' house had this as well. It was built in '59. And so this is original to the home, no doubt. It looks like the ceiling in here has been redone. Well, check out this, modern made. 1967. Let me see if it works. I dig these old stoves. Oh yeah, look at the big old pilot lights on there. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the old Fender amps. Cool. This may be original as well. It's a magic shelf. Let's take a look underneath the kitchen sink. There we go again with some galvanized. And those are some gate valves that they used. I guess it's better than nothing at all. But they get some weird stuff going on here, man. Look, got the dishwasher drain tied into a copper tailpiece. And look at the kink in that line right there. That's probably the water supply for the dishwasher. Or ice maker for a refrigerator. Old yellow fridge. My mom and dad had one of them. Who's it? This is probably Montgomery Ward. No, it's Kenmore. Okay, this is the bathroom by the kitchen, which is kind of a cool thing. Usually they didn't do that a whole lot back in the 60s. There's another piece of galvanized right there. I thought that could have been natural gas, but now that I've seen that other, I'm pretty sure it's water supply. And there's your old two-prong outlets right there that looks like it had some short issues. And I did an episode a little bit ago, I think it's a couple of days ago, on three-prong outlets. That ceiling tile in here, it looks kind of newer. Well, I just heard the air conditioner cut on. I didn't think it worked. Okay, now we got some other ceiling tile in here, and more than likely this is original to the house. And there's some probability it contains asbestos, but that would not stop me from buying the house, because, you know, based on the research I've done, it pretty much had to saw on it and make a dust out of it. It just wouldn't stop me from buying it. But you can see the discoloration in the floors, and it's also uneven. You can't see that in the camera, and that's because of the crawl space. And what happens is a lot of people, including my parents, we're on a crawl space, will put carpet over this. And so now you can have moisture sandwiched between the padding and the wood floors, and it can just hold moisture in certain spots and cause it to warp. You can feel some creakiness too. Old wood windows, I doubt they open. And also too, you see this light, anytime you have closets like that, you should have a protective fixture cover, because if you move stuff even in and out of this, you can bust that bulb off and create a fire. But it doesn't even have to do that. I mean, you can actually, something can shift in the closet and cause a fire as well, so that's not safe. Looks like we got some moisture problems going around the bottom of this as well. It's like they repaneled the top of this. Also too, guys, these light bulbs you see, anytime you change the light bulbs in your bathroom, I recommend you replace them with LED that are rated for exterior use, because of the moisture that's produced in the bathroom. Just a shower in here. Closet. Two-prong outlets everywhere. And I wonder if it has aluminum wiring. I haven't pulled the panel yet to see. Also, this floor is sunken. You can't see that, but it is warped really bad. And this is the original front door. And you can see the big piece of luan on the floor. This thing is not rated for exterior use, even though this was sold as an exterior door. So let's just open up, let you look at the front of it. See that? Yeah, it's about to come apart. So also know this too, if you buy a new house, it may not be the builder's responsibility to do this, but take the time and paint. Let me just show you. Take the time and make sure that all sides of the door is painted. The ends, the top, the bottom edges, because what can happen is moisture will absorb on any area that's not sealed and cause your door to do like that front door. But here, look at this. You can see how it's catching the floor, and that tells you that the moisture problems in the crawl space has created problems to the flooring up here. Well, I don't know what else I can show you. I mean, this is real quick tour through this. I haven't even really got started. I just kind of sort of noticed these things as I did my walk around. And I hope this is somewhat informative. You know, I do dig these old houses. I think they're worth having. They certainly have, in my opinion, better bones than the new ones do. And, you know, I would have no problem, you know, redoing this house. You know, I guess if the price was right, I would have no problem doing it. You know, but there again, it's kind of subjective, and we all have our tolerance of what we're willing to accept as a homeowner. So take care, guys, and just stay tuned to the next episode. I'm sure I'll have one coming up pretty soon. And also like the Facebook page, because like this video right here, I can't think of everything, and I probably will find some other stuff to follow up this video with that'll be pretty interesting as well. So that's where I do my updates, is on the Facebook, and that's Southern Home Talk there as well. Take care, guys.